Hello, 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 Filter Free America listeners. Once again, we are back together right here on Filter Free America. Uh, yeah, you're not imagining this. This is a second episode within 1 week's time. Yeah, I know. I'm shocked as you are. I haven't been able to put up 2 episodes within a week for quite some time, and I'm very happy to be able to do it for you this week. And I feel like I owe it to you, right? Because I've been so delinquent with getting new episodes up. I am really working hard to try to get enough episodes put together and get them out, and to hopefully make up for that and maintain a nice streak of steady content for you to listen to. Because I'm tired of getting emails from you guys like, where are the new episodes at, Joey? Where are they at? I mentioned in the last episode, I hurt myself and was not able to do much recording or producing or editing or anything. I've been kind of laid up lately. I'm going to make up for that, though, because I love you and I want to make you happy and all that good stuff. So here we go. Here's today's episode. I'm going to talk to a good friend of mine from right here in the Twin Cities. His name is Nick Olson, and he is with Olson's EcoBoost. Olson's EcoBoost is basically a performance a car performance shop for people who own EcoBoost engine vehicles. It's a Ford-based product, whatever. Point is, we're going to talk about cars. We're going to talk about our mutual love of cars. We're going to talk about car culture in general. We're going to talk about things like our first cars and crazy stuff we did to cars as kids and weird stuff like that. And we're also going to get into a little bit of technical stuff about what he does as far as with the EcoBoost platform, about how to make them faster and perform better. Things that, technology that's already out there that you can do to your car, and things that he's worked on personally to help design or redesign parts and elements within the engine to make it perform better. Now, let me say up front, if you're not a car person, this may not be the best episode for you if you're not into cars. But that being said, the conversation and the fun we have on the topic may draw you in. So give it a chance. If you don't like it, you know what I say. There's going to be another episode, only a few days away, or just go back into the catalog of Filter Free America episodes and find one you haven't listened to yet and listen to that one, right? But again, give it a chance. If you're not a car person, you're going to learn something, obviously. And again, the conversation is there. There's some funny stuff we talk about. We talk about some of his successes, some of his failures, which includes basically literally blowing up millions of, not millions, but thousands of dollars worth of car parts. So yeah, it's a very fun conversation. So yeah, that's what we're going to talk about today. Real fast, let me mention the sponsor, simplewebsite.us, simplewebsite.us. One more time, simplewebsite.us. That is the place that you need to go if you're planning to build a Squarespace website. Why do you need to go there? Because those guys and gals at simplewebsite.us, they are experts in building Squarespace websites. Now, I get it. It's Squarespace is promoted as being an easy place for you to build a website. But let me tell you right now, as an idiot, it was very hard for me to do it. I couldn't do it. So people at Simple Website, they did it for me, right? Now, you may not be as intellectually limited as I am, and you have a little bit of skill on a keyboard, and you could probably do it on your own, but it may take you a little bit longer, and you don't got time to invest. But you know what? That's another good reason to call simplewebsite.us, because you can do what I did. You just give them a list of everything you want, what you want your website to do and all that good stuff, and they will do it for you. They will do it fast and efficiently and correctly the first time, every time, and definitely worth at least just checking them out. And again, even if you don't want to use their help at all, they also have some free tips and tricks and videos you can get access to make doing it on your own even easier. So yeah, simplewebsite.us, the place you need to go. Now, real fast, let's name this episode and kick it off properly. Now, we're going to talk to my buddy, Nick Olson. Olson, he's with his company is Olson EcoBoost. Definitely cars and stuff like that. Okay, here's a good name for it. Let's go Making Fast Cars Faster. How about that? Is that a good title? It kind of says what we're talking about, and definitely will, I guess, add to the the hits because it just sounds good, right? It sounds fast. Making fast cars faster with Nick Olson. That's the name of this episode. Making fast cars faster with Nick Olson right here on Filter Free America. Let's go. All right. So start by telling me, when did you first get into cars? What was the moment? I assume you were a kid. When was the moment that triggered you? Like, I like cars more than anything else in the world.
It had to be the sounds when I was sitting in the back of my parents' car as a
Right?
kid. You hear something loud, probably a V8, and you just think, wow, that's probably a lot faster.
Right. I don't understand why people don't understand that. Right. Like, I try to explain that to my girlfriend, like why my Crown Vic sounds like a monster truck, and why
Yep.
why that's so appealing to me. And she doesn't get it. She doesn't get
No.
the. I don't think it's a girl thing, because I know girls that are totally into to loud cars too. I don't know. Some people it doesn't trigger. Like me, I feel it in my soul.
Oh, yeah.
Just the rumble in the feel.
Yeah, I mean, and it's a different feeling if you have the gas pedal under your foot and you can hear the sound, you can affect the sound with
Right.
your foot. You've got the power, and you're sitting, you want to just shove that gas all the way down, right?
Right.
So, I mean, it had to have been when I was a kid sitting in the back of my parents' cars. We didn't have anything fancy, right? Nice, normal, quiet car. And, at stoplights, you'd see these cars that were louder or shoot flames, and you're just like, wow, I need something like that in my life.
Right. So that gave you the bug. That gave you the sickness.
Yep.
What was your next move? What was your first car?
My first car was given to me by my father. It was an electric car. It was
electric?
It was electric, ugly, quiet, and slow.
This is the Saturn I've seen a picture of?
No, that
okay.
wasn't my first car. My first car, everyone out there can Google it. It's a Mitsubishi i-MiEV. There was very few of them ever made.
What year?
2013, 2010, 2012. I don't know. Something back then.
Okay. I forget that you're younger, so
yeah,
that makes sense.
I don't know the year of it. All I know is this car would go like 60 miles on a charge, so I couldn't go very far. Couldn't go over about 65 miles an hour. It was butt ugly. I mean, there's no talking. You're not picking up the ladies with this vehicle. This isn't one of the cars. You can drive over to your friends and they're gonna, ooh, cool. This was the car that screams, everyone judge me.
Tell me the name one more time.
Mitsubishi i-MiEV. It's
i-MiEV. Now you plug in.
You plug it right in the wall. We still got one today.
What kind of plug-in? Is it like a standard?
No, it's got a special plug-in in the wall. They come in and they can install it. It's it's like a Tesla charger.
Okay.
Stage 2 charger. Draws a lot of power.
Okay.
But it was the worst, ugliest car that you can probably buy.
This is the total end of the spectrum as far as electric vehicles go? As far as the Tesla?
This is
the
the opposite. This is a Tesla's quick, 0 to 100. This is quick 0 to 10, and then you're a turtle.
God.
It's bad as you can get.
So that had to have been just soul killing to you. I mean, you were
shot-
happy to have the freedom of a car.
Yeah, it shot you down pretty quick. I was thinking, like I was, I'm in a middle class family, right? Thinking, I was fortunate enough that my dad, purchased this vehicle, and I was fortunate enough to have a car, right? But I was, had the immature mindset of, I'm going to get something cool, they'll buy me whatever I want. That's just not how it worked.
Right.
So this is what I got, and I somehow I found a way to get a lady in my car somehow. We went to
She must have been like an environmentalist.
Yeah.
So, like, oh, look at you saving the planet.
Yeah, the standards got to be low, right? So we went to go look at puppies at the mall. So I think that's how I did it. But it had to be 2 weeks after I got this car. We were going down the highway. I had a job interview at Target later on that day.
Right.
And she turned the music up too loud. I went to turn it down, and I just totaled this thing at 75 miles an hour, right into the car in front of me. Knocked out, unconscious, airbags on, done for, right?
Well, at least, even if you're going max speed, I mean, that's what, 15 miles an hour?
Yeah, sure feels like it.
Right.
So, I mean, then, I'm now a 16-year-old kid with a car that's now smoking on the side of the highway. Number one, I was told my dad I was, at my Target interview already. No,
Right.
I was with a lady looking at dogs.
Right.
So everything went downhill quick. I got fortunate enough to, after all of that, he said, I'm not having it. You're not getting a nice car. You're lucky you're getting a car.
Right.
I got an old Grand Marquis, pretty much a Crown Vic cop car.
Shut up. What year?
2003.
Okay. My first car was a 1984 Grand Marquis.
Yeah.
love that car.
Tanks.
Big. Mine had. This is before the 4.6, so mine had the. Was it? Yeah, it was a 5.0.
Yep.
It was a 5.0 in it. It was all white. It had what color? Baby, no, like a midnight blue velour.
Oh.
Bench seat in the front.
Oh yeah, the big one.
Yeah.
Fit 3 up front.
But here's what I did. I immediately cut the exhaust off and put glass packs on it. So I had 2, I think 12-inch glass packs on it. I had some kind of I don't know what they're called. Like back in the day when there was only like so many cool aftermarket rims you could buy, the ones with like the circles all the way around it.
Few options.
Yeah. Had those on it. It was a performance, big fat performance tires. And then I took it to a shop and had them put air shocks on it.
Oh my!
With it, you could adjust it, with the
push
the
a
air
little
pump.
button. Yeah.
Well, not even that. No, it's just like
the
you
air
drill
pump.
a hole in your bumper, and there's like a little valve stem they put on there.
Yeah.
And you can even let it out. So I'd have the back end all jacked up, all super high. Oh man, early '90s, man, that was so fun. That's crazy. We had basically the same first car. Hilarious. So what did you do with yours? I know you didn't keep that stock, right?
No. So I was still very young, right? I wasn't very far into my adult driving career. So we bought this in a very low class neighborhood, from a guy, right? It was a very cheap car, right? Under $1,000.
You find plenty of Crown Vics and Grand Marquis in low class neighborhoods.
Yes, pretty much.
Because I used to live in low class neighborhoods and I had a lot of those cars.
So we got this thing, and it had glass packs to start, duals.
Fuck yeah.
Duals.
Right.
And they were done right.
Right.
So I was like, oh yeah. Like we're good to go. I'm ready to just drive it as she is. Like I didn't even have to do it.
Right.
And I learned very quickly that they can do a burnout.
Right.
That was the first thing I did with this thing. I did a burnout. And I learned very quickly that they eat a gas and it's very expensive. And then I learned, it was not an attractive car. It was, what was it? It was like a light gold, the light gold factory color they have for those cars. And the cloth interior was very nice inside, actually. It was not beat up or anything like that. So I was good to go. It had an aftermarket radio ready, so I could hook up an aux. But I drove it to school, and it wasn't a car that people wouldn't really bother. It's about what every other kid drives, right? So, but one day at school, some bullies kicked in my front grill when I was in class.
Fucking dicks.
Yeah, they kicked that shit right in.
Right.
I came out and I was like, oh damn.
Right.
Well, I'm not fixing that. Right. So I started looking, around what can I do maybe so they don't hate my car as much, right? At first it was, kind of leave me alone. I want to make my car look cooler.
Right.
So I started doing the experiment. This was when around Plasti Dip and paints were starting to come out now. And I went to the AutoZone with my $40 I had, right?
$40 on AutoZone, you can buy just half of that rack.
Yeah.
That rack of shit that they have, the stickers and lights and shit. That's good.
Exactly. So I Jimmy rigged up. I bought some new chrome stuff and stuff like that. I was like, okay, I went through the chrome phase. This is where I hit my chrome phase.
I've done this too. I'm reliving my childhood as you're telling the story.
The chrome phase hit me hard right here once I walked into AutoZone.
I bet you didn't have, hold on. I bet you didn't have this. And it's going to be an age thing between us. Back when I was in my early teen, when I had my Grand Marquis, AutoZone used to sell this battery powered smell good thing that was in the shape of a crown, and you would sit it on your dashboard. So it was like both your hands put together about that big and around this big crown. It was the most ricey looking thing you could ever buy. It was like $12.99 or something like that, and you turned it on and it lit up whatever color. Like if you bought a blue one, it would lit up blue.
That's the AutoZone special.
Yeah. Man, that was the most embarrassing. Looking back, that's the goofiest thing I could have bought.
This isn't the worst thing I did. I was just getting started.
Oh goodness.
No, this turned into the ultimate pimp mobile.
Nice.
Let's say I bought every chrome item. I bought everything chrome you could buy to start for the car.
The fake vents?
Oh yeah. I got. Of course, I started with the fake.
Did you have a scoop on it too?
Oh yeah. I went as far as buying the chrome stripping. They buy by the foot because they didn't make
the one that trims the door lines.
Yeah, I turned that into, let's say, pinstriping down the side of the car.
Oh, goodness.
I went as far as the taillights.
Right.
Well, who doesn't? Let's just make lines every 1 inch across this thing and turn it into a checkerboard of chrome.
Oh my goodness.
So I chromed every line that you could on this car.
Right.
Anything possible chrome. when I got done doing that, draining all the money every penny I had, I went in the AutoZone with.
Right.
This is when they came out with the lights that can change colors.
Oh man.
From like your phone and different things like that.
Right.
I bought every light strip you could. At one point the guys in there ran it up. They checked it over. I spent like $10,000 at AutoZone.
Jeez.
And lights and junk and complete garbage. This car gained zero value in what I've done. If anything, lost value.
Probably lost value. Lost gas mileage because you got so much more weight of plastic attached to it now.
So I now have turned this vehicle into a car number one that was chromed out to now I can change the color to anything inside to a full-on party and give you a seizure.
Wow. Yeah, you went a little farther than I did.
But but
I don't blame you though.
Couple of kids, we're full of high schoolers, right?
Right.
A couple of kids were like, "Oh, this is cool. Can you do some of these things for me for a little bit of money?"
Because they want a car they can do drugs in. That's what they want.
They want a trip out, right? You get in my car and it's a party.
Handful of mushrooms and go sit in your Grand Marquis, and you're in a different planet.
Yeah, and I mean the seats are big enough. You can, you can bring a bunch of friends, right?
Those are couches.
Yeah, it's a couch. I mean, this is a car you're falling asleep in.
Right.
So, and I've slept in the trunk of this car personally myself and got locked in.
Well, you and 5 other people could.
Oh yeah, plenty of room for friends.
Right.
But I did that for friends. Side little things, $20-$40, right?
So you're customizing cars.
No,
what are we? 19, 18?
Yeah, I was I was more 16.
16 customizing.
I started right away. Because I couldn't drive an ugly junker.
Right.
I went to a high school that was half people that got accepted in from very low income, on the waiting list.
Right.
And the other half was very high income.
Okay.
Like mom and dad buy you BMW, WRX, all the nice cars you want. So the thing is, I just wanted to get in the middle, be left alone.
Right.
So that's what I did. But, I started making a little bit of money, painting rims black, simple things, right? But kids will, $100, $200, do that. And it started adding up and I was like, all right, well, I'm now obsessed with cars. That's when I realized how much money I had in the AutoZone. I said, okay, we need something cool now. So.
Well, I was wondering why didn't you ever, since you had the Grand Marquis, why didn't you ever consider getting a retired police car to get the
package and all that?
The police package, a little bit better performance. Not much, but a little bit.
I just didn't have any money.
Right.
AutoZone drained me.
Oh man, I've had so many. That's what the Crown Vic I have now is a retired cop car.
Yeah,
I love them.
And they're bulletproof.
Right.
They'll run forever.
Yeah.
But I treated that car bad, and I did some. Yeah, it was
like your big learning car, your first.
Oh yeah,
naturally aspirated learning car.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna say this. This is gonna be hard to admit, but I spray painted. I can't believe I'm saying this. I spray painted the engine bay 100% chrome with chrome spray paint. I'm not talking just a little. I'm talking. I spray painted the belts chrome, radiator chrome. Everything.
Did it overheat the first time you?
It ran okay.
It ran okay.
I didn't see any difference.
Looked good,
it looked great.
Holy shit!
I can't believe I said that.
We've all done that. We've all done something like that.
Oh no.
So now you're in it. You're making money doing it. You're learning something from it. What was the next
step
vehicle for you? I want to do the vehicles first. What was the next vehicle after the Grand Marquis?
I now have started to look around at other cars, what kids have in the parking lot, right?
Right.
And I started, I was the kid that would compare myself to my parents. This kid got this car, this kid got this car. Why am I driving this? And their answers is, well, you ruined your chance of having a nice car.
Right.
And there's no arguing with it. So as bad as this is, and I hope my parents aren't listening to this, I tried to purposely blow up my Grand Marquis. Oh, I mean, I wanted my motor to blow up.
Just driving it like a bat out of hell, or
no. I went as far as well, first off, when I spray painted it, the car started to run like crap after. Like I got in the fuel filters and things like that, right?
Right.
So my dad had to pay to fix the car, so they spray painted my car.
I would pay cash money to see the guy who took it to work on that when he opened the hood and saw your
he's still in business down the road. You could go talk to him about it today. He'll tell you right now.
Oh, that's probably his funniest story.
Oh no, he's got a lot of stories about the junk I've brought in.
Oh Jesus.
But no, I what I did is one day I said, if the car doesn't work, they have to give me another car, right? That was my mindset.
Right. So, the place you bought it was.
Well, no, for my parents. I was thinking, if I destroy this car, they'll give me another one. Yeah,
wear it out.
Here we go. So I know I took open. I Googled how to blow up a car. I put sugar in the gas tank. I put anything I could find in my house, like KitchenAid stuff. sand, rocks. Opened up the oil cap, put everything I could in the oil cap.
So after doing how long did that car run as you're doing this? Because you're just giving a great
I
commercial
sold
for
it
how.
still working.
Holy shit!
And so you would did this right.
Right.
I would do everything wrong, put diesel in the tank, everything you could to try to blow this car up, and it ran. It was probably 2 weeks that it kept running like that.
You
right.
should be a spokesman for Ford right now. You should be.
My next Ford was a shit show, so we'll
Okay.
pass on that
Fair
one.
enough. Holy cow! So you got rid of it? You sold it, right?
Well, okay, so I tried to blow it up. It wouldn't blow up. I was like, I'm running out of time here. I don't want it to completely break because I talked to my parents about getting a new car, and they said, you got to have some skin in the game. Show up with some money, half the money of what the car you want is. We'll put the other half down. You pay us back.
Oh man.
So I was like, okay, well, I could get some money if I sell this car. But now I've already just hurt the car.
Right.
So now I had to sell the car quick. So I posted it up on Facebook. And some Mexican dude didn't speak any English, showed up one day. I tried to explain to him it's going to blow up. He didn't care.
So you let him know. It was like you.
Oh, I told him 100%.
you
know
did
what I
not
mean?
beat the shit
He
out of
didn't
us.
care. He smiled when he heard the duels. All he heard was the duels, and he got the fever.
That will do it.
So he handed me $1,000 in cash for the car. We paid probably about that, but
Right.
my mess ups in life, and I've paid thousands in the lights and stuff. But he paid me for it. I took that $1,000 and I said, okay, well, now I got to save up. So I saved that money up. Had no car. Saved up a little bit more. Found myself a white BMW.
Nice.
And went halfsies with my mom and dad on that car.
Nice.
And that's when it really got started with the BMW, because now, kids weren't messing with me. Kind of. It got me down the right path.
Right. It's weird that they can just change the whole perspective just based on what kind
On a
of
car. And it was, you want to know the best part?
What's that?
Same year BMW as it was the Grand Marquis, 2003.
So what is that? That's a V8 then, right?
Nope. It was an
V6?
inline six.
An inline six.
Inline straight six. And I didn't have a base model.
Right.
I had a 330 XI, which was, they came in 323,
Manual?
325. It wasn't slapstick.
Okay.
323, which is a smaller one, 325, and then 328, and then 330. And then on top of that, there was the M Performance line, which everyone knows,
Right,
the
that's
M3. I had the second in line. I had the 330 XI, meaning all-wheel drive. This car was great for Minnesota.
All-wheel drive.
It was an XI all-wheel drive. This car had everything you wanted: cruise control, heated mirrors. I had power folding mirrors, slapstick leather, Harman Kardon sound system. This car, I had the sticker on it. It was like,
Or what are the stock horsepower torque rates?
stock on, I think it was 225 horsepower,
Okay.
200 torque at the crank, not at the wheel, obviously, right? So
About 3,000 pounds?
it was a very light little car.
Okay.
Little four-door backseat was useless pretty much, but I don't give a crap, right? So the thing is, there's a bunch of aftermarket parts for this car that I didn't need to make junky.
Right. I mean, those are still popular now. I mean,
Those cars are worth money now still.
Yeah.
The M3 is at least, right? In
Yeah.
the higher level, but the rest of them are beaters.
Was the M3, was that a V8?
Yeah, M3 was not. It wasn't. It was not. It was a different motor still. It was a 3.2 liter versus 3.0.
Okay.
But that was like 300 horsepower or something, and they were quick.
Right.
They're quick little cars. They're still known today as one of the best driving vehicles ever. That E46 generation M3. They're now $15,000 cars with 100,000 miles on them.
I love the way they look, man. I'm just terrified of having to fix one day.
Mine was my BMW was more reliable than my Ford.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
That's saying a lot. So what did you start getting into the actual performance modifications with this car?
I did. I
do that?
a little bit. I got it from some guys that it was a salvage title car that was rebuilt properly. I bought it for some guys. They already did some upgrades, M3 like bumpers and stuff, because you can switch those over. So mine already had a little sportier look. And I did the exhaust system. I brought it in, had it done professionally.
Right.
And I started, messing with lights and things. There wasn't a ton of aftermarket motor stuff, being it's a naturally aspirated car. But I did get, there is a company out there, Dynin. I did, I got their little throttle body, and I got, their little tune that comes with it. But, realistically, you're not getting more than 10, 15 horsepower out of a naturally aspirated car. Just, there's no forced induction boost to add the power.
That's what I was going to ask. There's no turbos or anything?
No
fits for
turbos,
those?
no superchargers. So you're not really getting any power of it. The thing is, these cars, they sounded amazing being an inline six, though, the exhaust note.
Right.
And they're realistically light enough and quick enough to be perfectly fine for anything, right? But the thing is, I started getting into, this is when I got into the age of showing up to street racing.
Okay.
This is what brought me into the street racing. I've had a sportier car now, that brought me into I want to go out at night and watch the real fast cars and things like that and start racing people. And I've learned very quickly that car was not not fast enough to run with other cars.
Okay. Well, I want to get to the street racing part because I want to talk about that as a separate conversation. But I want to get into now to how did you progress to, because you do amazing things with cars that I have a garage and I have tools and I do basic stuff.
Yep.
But I can't do a lot.
Yeah.
I have a buddy who he comes over and he helps me with more complicated things.
Yep.
But I really don't have a lot of, mechanical knowledge. I know basics. I know how to take care of a car.
Yeah.
Things like that.
Spark plugs, things like that.
Things like that. So now you're as I'm looking at your Facebook pages and following the stuff that you're doing, you're testing and developing modified parts for the cars that you and I drive. And
Yep.
I have a 2015 SHO Ford Taurus.
Yep.
And you have
2010 Lincoln MKS with the same motor as the Ford Taurus you have.
right. So your twin turbo.
Yep.
Stock.
Same motor. Yep.
Stock. Your exact same car.
Stock. Both of these cars stock came 365 horsepower, 350 torque at the crank, which is an insane amount for a stock vehicle.
Right. Already
to
it's
start.
a great performing car. And again, yours is 2010, right?
2010. Mine was the first year of the EcoBoost motor. These motors are called EcoBoost engines, as you're familiar.
Right.
They put these.
And to the listener, explain what an EcoBoost motor is.
EcoBoost, Ford designed this to be eco-friendly. They wanted the V8 power in a V6 with the fuel economy of a V6.
Right.
So in 2009 they were developing it. It came out in 2010. And it's a 3.5 liter V6 with two very small turbos on it that produce a lot of power, and you could get 25, 26 miles to the gallon on the highway. And in 2010, this was right after all the fuel in the economy and everyone wanted to be cheap. This is right in the time of people that didn't want to sacrifice the power of a V8. This worked out perfectly for them pretty much.
And disclaimer, that gas mileage and eco thing is only if you don't really get your foot into it.
Oh, yeah.
I'll drain my gas tank really quick.
Full disclaimer, we're getting 10, 15, 20 on the highway at the best.
Unless you're driving it and not having any fun with it. Then maybe.
Oh, yeah.
So stock, both our cars would be exactly the same.
Exactly.
But your car has a lot of stuff done. So what are the specs of your car now as best as you know from what you've
well,
testing and
my car,
developing?
I've blown multiple motors in my car. They make upgraded block motors now for these cars, as it's now 2019, so we've had 9 years of modifications out on the market. I pushed the limits of stock block. Stock block realistically is 450 wheels safe. You can get, this is wheel, not crank now, so we're talking a lot more power.
Right.
These cars have a 25% drivetrain loss, so factor that in when I'm talking wheel. Add on 25% to equal your crank number. That's about what's safe for these cars, right? Anything more than that, you could do like 500, but you couldn't like drive it around the street or anything like that without having all of a sudden it blow up or something, right?
Right. So people that are pushing the 500s on these,
you're
wheeling
flipping
it. You're trailering it to the track. You're hitting a
if you want to run 500 on a stock block to the wheels, just be prepared to have AAA. That's realistic.
And that's just because you're creating so much additional
pistons,
more boost and
it's the bearings. The bearings suck on them. The pistons suck on them. It's just Ford already maximized, what they had the production to run safely out of these, right?
Right.
And these transmissions are garbage, complete garbage.
I had to replace mine. Thank God for extended warranty.
Yeah, I saw that.
27,000 miles.
Yeah, I saw your post when you posted that up, and I said, "Oh man, see, this is exactly what no one believed me until you get these guys out here with 20,000 miles blowing up transmissions."
Yeah. And granted, I hammer it pretty hard.
Yeah, it's still they sell it as a performance vehicle. It's a special edition vehicle that's you're paying quite a bit of money for these cars. These aren't the cheapest cars, and they can't even then there's nothing you're doing on a stock vehicle that should make a transmission blow up at 20,000 miles.
No, not at all. But I still love it.
Yeah.
So what have you done to yours versus?
So on my Lincoln for comparison, I blew up 2 motors and 2 transmissions in one summer alone.
Okay.
Part of
what led is that just pushing it past the limits?
Push it, a little bit of maybe not making the best choices and of tuner, who tuned the vehicle. I had a company, I'm not going to say who. Anyone that listens.
And again, not all my listeners are car people, but I hardly ever talk about cars, but. Explain what a tune is, what you're doing, and how
a tune. Your cars ran off a computer. Realistically, cars are computers, right?
And this is every car since
1996.
96, that's right.
96 on is OBD2 is what their system is. Your car is a computer. Anyone can tap into the computer and you can change what it's thinking. it's pretty much where someone goes on and your electronical control management, your ECU, electronic control management system, unit technically is the term,
Right.
but anyone can hack into it, and they can change parameters from on these vehicles turbos. They can turn the boost up, meaning how much boost your turbos are pushing out.
Because Ford's not going to crank it up to
No.
maximum.
No.
'Cause They want it within a safe parameter.
And even then, they're still not safe at the parameters they are. So Ford has it capped out at 10 psi stock. A normal idea when you get a tune from a tuner, which is a person that sells, they tap into your car system and they adjust it to your needs. They're realistically, you're going to turn it up to about 15, 16 psi.
Just for funsies, would be the maximum number one could turn that boost up to?
You could turn it up. People have turned it up to about 18.
Okay.
The thing is, turbos, there's an efficiency graph on it. At a certain point, they're not efficient. They can still make the power, but it's lost efficiency because, you're getting heat. The more power you're making, you're generating heat and other things, right? So they lose efficiency around 17. The stock turbos, efficiently 18 psi, you're doing more. You're not getting as much gains at 17 because the extra heat and other factors that go into it.
So if you don't do additional modifications like to adjust for heat soak and all that,
Yeah.
you're wasting your time.
Yes, if you don't have someone that's educated in these cars, someone that doesn't know what they're doing, and even people that still claim to know what they do, some of them aren't, as you're well aware too of all the tuning debate drama on these Facebook pages we're all a part of turns into a shit show. It's pretty entertaining.
If you don't know anything about cars, just go to any kind of car, and every car out there has a fan page.
Exactly.
Like because I have a Crown Vic and I have the SHO, and there's SHO specific fan pages. There's Taurus fan pages. There's every form of Crown Vic, specific to whatever. And you get in there, it's the thing I love and the thing I hate, about the car culture thing, because it gets so argumentative and so insulting for no reason.
Oh yeah,
just out of nowhere.
People will attack each other.
Right, and then it's just crazy. But things like you're talking about there, that the people defend, their favorite tuner and their favorite
tuning wars is what they're calling them.
Yeah. And they just like their best buddies, or it's their mom they're defending. They get into it, and it's just, it's hilarious and scary at the same time to read.
If you're not in it in the middle of it, it's a pretty good read. If you're just wanting to read something and thank goodness you may
I wonder
not
if
be a part.
other weird culture, like knitting. Is there a knitting culture?
Yeah, is there?
And
Someone let us know
fighting
about
over
this.
what kind of yarn? No, my yarn is better than your yarn.
I got
your
it
yarn
at Michael's.
Sucks, bitch.
I got it at Michael's.
Right?
So.
Got much more performing yarn than you got.
Oh yeah, someone let us know if there is. I'd love to be a part of it and read it.
Right. Knit racing.
Yeah. So back to what I did on mine.
Yeah, please.
I learned these motors are very expensive, by the way.
What isn't just because I'm never gonna have to worry about that because my warranty's covered. I hope.
You hope.
I hope everything's good. So I that is my goal. I would like to blow the motor in at least one of the two turbos before my warranty expires or before I sell it, just so I can get a new one.
Yeah.
But what's the cost to replace a motor?
So realistically, most people don't buy a new motor. Okay. Just the cost being of it. You can buy what you can do is you can buy a junkyard motor with 75,000 miles on it without turbos for $2,000 to $3,000, or closer to $3,000. The lower the miles, the more it is, right?
There's not special. I did something I didn't know already. Yeah. There's not a special things done to the block for the turbos versus the non-turbos.
Oh, they're completely different motors.
Oh, they are. Okay.
Yeah, you can't buy a non-turbo Taurus engine and shove it in a SHO.
Okay, the
computer systems, it just won't work.
Okay.
So the thing is, these
is the block.
No,
even at the core, it's nothing.
It's realistically, it's a completely different design. It's the same. It would be for all those car people out there trying to compare Ford's SHO, the Taurus, to their supercar, the Ford GT, being they both have the 3.5 EcoBoost.
Right.
They're completely different.
I've heard somebody say that. Well, it's basically the same car.
Yeah, that's one of the other things. You got two dumbasses that don't know anything attacking each other in their mom's basement.
Right. And neither one of them have either one of those cars.
Exactly.
That's what it is.
But no, it turns into an expensive endeavor if you don't have a warranty. Let's say you get an engine for $3,000, right? You got to have it installed. Dealership's going to want, at least $3,000 to install it. And, you got to reuse your old turbos, and they're going to tell you want new ones this is the time to do new ones.
Right.
And,
which is a fact. I mean,
it is. They're not wrong. They're not wrong about it, right? But an engine job realistically can turn into my first engine job. Well, I'll give you an example. My first engine job, I got an engine. My first engine had 76,000 miles on it. Didn't come with turbos, bought brand new OEM turbos. Out the door, I got a good deal too. You got to remember, this dealership gave me a good deal. It was $8,900. I was originally quoted like $9,500,
Jeez.
and that's money.
So about a third of what my car. I bought my car 2 years old. About a third of what my car cost.
Yeah, and this
I
is
paid
just
$27,000.
This is just for the engine installed in
Jesus.
your car. You're not getting anything out of this other than a car you already had to start.
Yeah, back to zero is where you're at.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I did that, right? This motor came with a 6-month, 6,000-mile warranty from the junkyard.
Nice.
I didn't know that. I thought it came with a lot more. 12 year maybe, 24, 12, something, 2 or 3 months down the road, right by the same fucking AutoZone where I spent all my money when I was a kid. I was coming down the hill right on 42nd. On 36th Avenue, right over by, all the food and stuff like that in the high school and over there.
Yeah.
I was coming down that hill and the car just turned off, going 35 miles an hour, speed limit, coming to a red light. Car just turned off, all power, like shut off.
Nothing previous, no
smoking, sounds, nothing.
Okay.
So I pulled into the AutoZone because it was on my way down the hill. I lost a power steer and everything. And this car's sitting dead in the AutoZone. And I'm sitting there, oh shit, right? And it turns out to be I spun the bearings on this car, low oil pressure, something, right?
And this is still stock at this point?
I had a tune on the vehicle.
Okay.
I had a tune and I had some downpipes, some exhaust work. I didn't really do anything serious to this car. It was literally,
Are you within the 15-pound boost range?
Yeah, I was still, fully within the safety amount of power. And at the time, I wasn't on the gas either. I wasn't doing anything that would push the limits of what this car is. It was, just died. So I must have done previous damage already on this new car. And
How long was this after you did the swap on it?
2 months had to be into it. And I'm thinking, oh, thank goodness I've got this warranty. I bring it in, I'm now almost to the end point of them, figuring out, they gave me a call and they said, dude, you're not warranted. I said, what the fuck are you talking about? And they said, 6 months, 6,000 miles. You know how many miles you put on this engine?
6,001 and
6,300 or something. And I'm somewhat reasonable. I said, can you work with me at least? If you're not willing to hook me up, can you guys work with me? Give me some type of deal. They pretty much told me to kick rocks. Right.
I would have to burn the place down.
Oh yeah, no,
I'd be very pissed.
yeah. So the thing is, at this point in time, I've now stuck my money into this vehicle. And the thing
This is the same one, the one you drove here tonight.
I
right?
drove it here today. It's still running, and I've now got more money into that car than it would have bought to buy your car again.
Right.
So
you can actually get a Ford GT now, probably with what you spent.
Yeah,
at least for the older.
I could put a down payment.
Right.
But I did that, and inside of this time being too, by the way, I blew up the first transmission right after I got the new motor.
Okay.
So, new to me, used motor, junkyard motor, if you want to be.
Why couldn't this happen when I had the motor out?
Yeah, right. So I blew that up, got a rebuilt. That cost about $5,000 rebuilt transmission, right? So now you add this up. $5,000 plus $9,000 is $12,000 in one summer alone. And I'm still now here with a blown up engine.
Right.
So this is when I reached out and I said, okay, we're done dealing with junkyard stuff.
Right.
I like going fast. I'm clearly going to blow up another one. I found myself a built block, meaning an upgraded block.
So tell me what's the difference between your block and my block now?
My block, it's the same overall design. Nothing seriously is different about it. They've done some honing. They've changed out, some the deck plating, and they've done some weird things inside, internally. That engine
is it more just to withhold more pressure?
Yes, more power. It's these bearings, for instance, they use different bearings, rod bearings, pistons, things like that are just designed for higher heat, different boost levels.
And over individually, this is nickel and dime difference in like what stock is.
Yeah,
but Ford, when you're making 10,000, 20,000 cars, all those nickels and dimes add up, so they cut cheap on these.
Yeah, realistically, if you're upgrading the block in this Taurus SHO, you're almost, you're getting yourself, the Ford F-150 block's a little better than the Taurus is to start. They've got better pistons.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
And when you're upgrading this, you're now getting into the level, higher power. You can handle it, right? So realistically, a built block is that they have two options. There's a couple other companies that make them. They're just not realistically as well. There's a couple options. You buy one, it's like $5,500 for the block, which, it's a $2,000 over about what you paid for an OEM. You got to remember, junkyard motor.
Right.
This is new. So it's not all that much more. And they have a higher level yet for more power that starts at like $9,000, which is a good chunk of change. And you still got to, pay to install this. I opted for the higher level block. And this block, is, I'm never going to push it to what this limit of this block is.
What's it rate? Does it have a horsepower rating?
900 horsepower is
Jesus
what the block's
Christ.
rated for. So I mean, I'm not 900 horsepower. I'm not going to be 900 horsepower in this car. I need this car to work for the amount of money I've got into it. I need this car to get me places, right?
Right.
So I've now, I went back, I found a tuning company, that person I trust. I've worked with them ever since. They're the only ones that have touched this car now. And they're, my car is safe.
Do you want to give them a plug?
Yeah, Gearhead Tuning out of Texas.
Okay.
Matt Robinson, he is another owner as well too. I'm sorry, I don't know his name off the top of my head. I've dealt with Matt personally myself this whole time. 100%, best customer service there is. Will take the time to teach you things. Without him, without teaching me things, I would know nothing.
Right.
He's taught me a lot that I've learned.
Can you tell me, and this may be opinion based, but and it kind of goes back to the tune wars.
Oh yeah, I love this shit.
Why are they better? Why are they better to you?
I'll
And again, you're talking to somebody who knows absolutely nothing.
Yeah, I'll answer this question, make it easy for you.
Sure.
First of all, I'll bring up the issues with the engines. Fuel pressure. If you drop fuel pressure too low, you're going to blow the engine up, right?
Okay.
Boost. If you got too much boost, you drop in fuel pressure even more, right? Torque. These cars are all torque. That's what makes these cars quick. If you don't limit the torque properly, you're going to blow the transmission, right? All of these things add up. There's certain ways that make it work and not. A lot of these tuners out there, they want to fight against each other, quarter mile times. Mine was faster than yours. You guys suck. Come to my company. But, people don't remember those factors. You could be 25 miles apart and have be completely different factors being, track elevation, track temperature, track air density, wind direction, car's weight, what you launch the vehicle at.
Would I be right in saying too that, that when they're advertising, well, it's faster in this quarter mile time. Yeah, that's great if you're just using this car just to drive quarter mile time. But you're talking about you've got a tuner who's got you something that allows you to be a daily driver.
Yeah.
And not put the stresses on it when you're just driving to the grocery store.
Yeah. The thing is, the tune, it'll give you the power when you want it. At the, you smash that gas, it'll get you happy.
Because anybody can just crank up a tune.
Anyone can
max
crank
out
it up.
the
Me and
numbers.
you could go buy the software ourselves right now and have a great fucking night.
Yeah, for about 3 miles.
Oh, hell yeah. It would be a good 3 miles, though, I'll
Right.
tell you that one. But the thing is, this company, Gearhead Tuning, they've bought more than 10 of their own personal EcoBoost vehicles.
Okay.
Meaning, these are all cars that have at least, the SHO is new as a $45,000 car plus taxes. So, I mean, do the math, right? They've got some money into these vehicles.
Right.
And that's, one of the cheapest cars with the EcoBoost motor.
So they've done specific extensive testing in that.
Oh yeah,
specific type.
you hop on their website and they've got their own personal Raptors and cars like that, right? So these people they've learned what daily you only need so much for the daily, right? They've learned that you can turn the torque down so the transmission's not getting overworked, but you can when you hit the gas it got a good response without being you tap the gas and it's jolting because it wants to only race, right?
Right.
So there's fine lines of you got to take temperature into account. If you're in Texas, right, and you tune a car there, you're in Minnesota, the temperature
Much more heat, much less humidity. And
so the thing is, you need to have a tuner that makes you a custom tune. You can't take a device that these devices come with tunes pre-made on them,
right?
And you can load it on your car. That tune was made, in a warehouse somewhere, designed for the certain temperature and things, not taking into account where you are, what your vehicle is. Every different vehicle is different because everyone maintains it differently. Every car is going to react different.
Right.
They're just not safe. So
and that's kind of a good way to explain the difference between a factory tune versus a custom tune.
Yeah.
Because when I assume that when Ford designs a car and then they make their tune, the original factory stock tune, that it's general. It's to cover all climates, all whatever, because they want their car to be everywhere and anybody can drive it. And you can be in high elevation in Denver and get equally or similar performance as you would in like a southern state.
And
or
you
something
just
like
nailed it on the head right there.
Yeah.
You've hit the nail on the head. You've got it. This is exactly why these cars are tunable. Ford does not have them maxed out. They have the power turned down so it can be used in all climates.
See, that's crazy to me because my car is so ungodly fast at stock.
Yeah, and the thing is,
imagine.
And yeah, that's the thing. These tuners, they know where you are, they know the temperatures, they can look at the computer, they can adjust it and turn these cars up to make them work at the max they can where you're located.
And give you multiple versions, so cold weather,
oh yes,
warm weather tune versus whatever.
Actually, now here we are. Gearhead has an auto adjusting tune. They're the only ones on the market with this tune available.
Takes data from outside temperatures and the computer's processing and
everything. Octane.
Shit.
Let's say these cars, 93 octane is what we all run in these cars. It's the highest premium, right? You get the best performance, best safety out of these cars. Let's say you're on a road trip and you can only find 87, and you don't want to switch over the tuning. It's a pain in the ass and all that shit. This car will automatically adjust it to that octane. You just fill it up and drive on. This car, the tune will do that. It'll automatically adjust to a safe power level while giving you more than stock.
Wow.
And the thing is, that took a lot of time to get into.
Right.
So the thing is, it makes it usable anywhere. Now you've turned your car back into, when you're tuned on 93 gas, you're limited to where 93 gas is. This now has turned your car into a usable car all over the country again, which is a huge deal for the, realistically, $500 is, everyone makes fun of it, the $500 fucking dollar tune, right?
Right.
A tuning device is $399. You need to buy spark plugs, Kohler spark plugs, and a thermostat if you want. And the tune is another $100 with gearhead, right? So realistically, out your door, you're looking at like $450 plus, a little shipping, 500 max, and you got a car that can do, 400 wheel horsepower.
Jesus. What was I going to ask? Oh, now tell people though, the bad news is what you told me when you got a factory warranty though.
Yeah. When you got a factory warranty, the thing is,
this is why I don't have a tune.
I got news for you. You can get away with it. I got a 3 or 100,000 mile warranty on my car.
Okay.
Yeah. So there's ways to hide this. I don't care if Ford fucking hears this. Right. So we're in America. We can do what we want.
Right.
I'm going to release the bald eagles.
Okay.
So, I'm going to let them sing. So you can hide it. These tuning devices have an option to return the vehicle to stock, and you can turn the car on a bunch and off a bunch of times. I won't go into exact details, but you can hide the tune from the computer's system, meaning, something happens, you can bring the car into Ford, and, realistically, they're not going to look for a tune unless you, give them a reason to. Realistically, They get paid to do warranty work. They're, they're making money.
See, that's what I always thought. Why would the guy who's servicing my vehicle, he's not going to say, well, we're not going to take this money from you that we're going to get from the, the insurance or whatever.
Yeah.
Because you've tuned your car. They're like, fuck yeah, we'll do that.
That's the thing. You build a relationship with a certain dealer, certain people at them, return as a customer to that dealership, they'll take care of you. That's how it works, right?
Right.
So realistically, I've known many people out there, not going to name names, but a lot of people out here have blown up motors or transmissions and got them replaced under warranty while, being tuned. And the thing is, it's not that hard to do. Right. I haven't done it personally because my car, it's 2010. I'm way past warranty, right? The only warranty I have is on this motor now that I bought, the block itself, right? So I got a warranty for labor, but I don't, it's not a warranty like you have with the manufacturer. It's completely different types of warranties.
Right.
But, and mine's a no fault warranty. When you bought my blind, you can have an option to buy no fault, meaning it's not my fault, meaning, not responsible. $100 extra bucks, and I'm not responsible for what the fuck happened.
You buy that.
Best $100 I've ever spent.
See, I just want to get my car. I just want to get it over 400. Like 400 would be a cool.
You know how easy it is now.
It's about $800 easy.
Yeah,
basically what it is.
Intercooler.
Yeah,
$800. Yeah.
Well, see, that's a new thing. The intercooler
just came out in the last 2 days.
Like the tune, you get a basic tune, you get the 3-bar mass airflow sensor, and you change the plug.
Yeah,
different temperature plugs.
The game has changed now.
And you can get it up to about 4.25 pretty easily.
The game has changed. Gearhead has now released. He's worked on this for 3 years. An intercooler for these cars, meaning it's like a radiator.
A replacement to the stock intercooler.
Yes, exact drop-in replacement factory. Not meaning on the front, not a front mount like the Subarus or anything like that. OEM looking, drops right in. Dealership won't fucking know.
Really?
What the fuck are they gonna?
They don't care.
Yeah,
anyway.
It looks like a fucking radiator. I mean, let's be real. They're not. Who gives a shit?
And they've developed these for across the board, all the EcoBoost. The
not
Raptor
all of
EcoBoost,
them. So this one will fit the Ford Flex. The Ford.
Is the Flex the new SUV?
The Flex is like the mom's, dad's. It's a SUV. It looks like a cube, long ass cube.
I like
it's a square.
Right.
Hell of storage space.
Yeah.
And they're cool. They're cool, and they got the same motors. These are quick ass mom's car, and with the tune you could go drag race with the family car.
No shit.
These are all family cars.
Right.
So this intercooler has now changed the game and made it easier to make power. It's drop in. It's $800 plus shipping. If you
explain what the intercooler does in regards to it,
it cools the air for the turbos. Realistically, it's what's producing the air for these turbos. These turbos need exhaust flow. The way a turbo design, it's what you need. You can't run a turbo without an intercooler.
Actually, go another level then, and then kind of just in a layman's explanation of what versus a naturally aspirated versus
Yeah.
a turbo? Explain the difference between those two.
Turbos, they got impeller made out of different materials. It spins, and what it's doing is it's forcing air into the system. Forced induction is what the name of it is.
Right.
Meaning it's making boost, which is equivalent as adding power to the vehicle. It's the same thing as if you had nitrous or something, right? You're forcing that into the vehicle, forced induction.
Right.
You're forcing in a shitload of air.
More air in a tighter space, bigger explosion.
Yeah,
bigger
it's a
explosion,
big
more
boom at once. You're pretty much, when you open up a nitrous bottle and you shoot it with a bunch of nitrous, it adds power. You're shooting it with a bunch of, extra air, cooling it down, other things, right? You're going to make power.
Right.
So you're forced induction. You're forcing that engine in induction.
And the cooler air is the cooler the air is, the better the explosion, correct?
Yeah.
Within the piston. So that's why the intercooler just...
Yeah, you want cold air. These turbos produce heat.
Right.
The more power, the more heat they get up, and they lose, power. When they get soaked up, you're losing power. Means less horsepower, less speed. You want to keep them cool as possible. There's obviously a point where it's too cold, which we're in fucking Minnesota, so we're well aware of this.
Right.
It's hard to tune cars in the cold. It makes a tuner's nightmare. When a tuner asks where you're at, and we tell them fucking Minnesota, they're like, oh shit,
fuck, right.
This can be a lot of fucking work.
Right.
If it's some guy,
especially a winter like this where we have fucking 50 degrees one week, and then next week it's 20 below or something.
Yeah. So the thing is, if it's a guy sitting in Kansas City where it's pretty much the same, nothing crazy, right? It's a lot easier for a tuner to here's your tune. I don't really need to talk to you, right? But we need to do data log files and send them information of what our car is reading to have them adjust it. But it's nowadays, the game has now changed with this new intercooler. All the companies have been waiting for this. These cars, realistically, on 93 octane, here's a better perspective. Without the intercooler, the same vehicle made 350 wheel horsepower. That's almost what the car made at the crank, meaning a very good increase.
Yeah.
The same vehicle with no other modifications other than the intercooler, $875, after shipping or whatever. If you guys need one too, I'm happy to help you get one. Is a drop-in option for under $1,000, and you're now at 400 wheel horsepower.
Jesus.
50 wheel horsepower you gained on a fucking piece of metal.
You're just air temperatures.
These cars, they heat soak. They're awfully designed. They're never designed as much power as we do them, and we're doing everything over the efficiency levels. So this is now a game changer for everyone. And if I really wish I would have got my car into this. I would have started modding car back now when these products are available.
Right.
I would have learned. Maybe I would have wished I met this guy before I've blown up stuff. And I was just I was a young kid, right? Still am. Just listen to other people's opinions, and it didn't work out for me, right? I've made a lot of stupid choices, no denying that, said stupid things, right? And, you can judge me all you want for it, but I've turned these into experiences, and now I have the ability to help people to avoid the mistakes I've made and to enjoy these products to the best of their ability while knowing they can get in something and drive safely places.
Right.
So I've turned, I've had awful fucking luck, and it sucks for me, right? I'm now financially, it sucks for me. The amount of money I've spent in this, motor jobs, $10,000s, thousands and thousands of dollars shoved out all within, one summer, right? And, I'm now in a hard spot, but the thing is I have the ability now to help other people.
Right.
And, at the end of the day, it feels good to help other people.
Right. Learn from your mistakes. That's good.
Exactly.
Now, back to the intercooler. You could just do just that, and you don't need a tune. You don't need anything.
So you could put it on a stock car.
Right.
It's
just going to improve the temperature as far as
it will help, but on a stock vehicle though, Ford limits the computer. The computer will limit itself to turn the power back down. If it sees it's making too much, it'll turn power back down. Actually.
Oh, regardless.
It has factory limits.
Okay.
So the thing is, you could put race fuel in, and you're 100% factory Ford SHO, and you won't see any benefits because the computer is limiting the power.
Right.
If you have a tune and you put race fuel in and you tune for it, you pick up fucking power right then and there. So the thing is, you're limited with what you can do on a stock vehicle. With a proper tune, you can pick up 50 wheel horsepower off an intercooler alone.
Jesus.
Which is a big deal for these cars. And the thing is, so many companies have tried and failed to make these. This guy's got, thousands upon thousands of dollars into the development of this, and, dyno sessions and computer logs to make something that is a drop-in option too, that, there's no weird stuff needs to be done. You can walk into a dealership and have it installed.
Gotcha. Let's go back to your car again. You don't have the intercooler yet. That just thing just came out. They just
the intercooler. What day is today? Today's Friday night. Mm-hmm. Intercooler was posted probably 2 days ago online on the groups.
Right.
And it's gonna start shipping out Monday morning. to customers.
Gotcha.
So no one out there has intercooler. All we have is results that we can look at. And the person that made it, obviously Matt, out of Texas, has it, right? And we're all jealous, and we've been waiting for years.
So yours is on the way, though. Yours is
I'm actually getting multiple sent out here for the people locally, and we're going to be doing a group buy. So I'm going to be able to distribute them out from me directly and save everyone a bunch of shipping money.
Nice.
Help people out a little
It's
bit.
not too late to take advantage of that.
No.
So I can still contact you now.
Yep. Everyone, feel free to hop on that. We'll be able. I'll do that at any time. I'll be able to do that at any time as long as I have a couple people interested to make it worthwhile.
Right. And I've already said it in the intro, but where's the best way for people to contact you? If they're interested
Our
about anything
Facebook
we talk
page.
about?
Our Facebook page is probably the easiest for most people. It's Olson's EcoBoost. Super easy. Olson, Olson. Spelled that way, and EcoBoost, EcoBoost. Super simple. You can shoot us a message directly on there. I'm on it all the time. You can reach me 24/7 if you really need. And there's a link to my direct profile as well if I don't answer on the company's page for any thing that you may need
Right.
support for.
So let's dive back into your car a little bit now. You're on your second motor in that one, right?
I'm third motor technically if you're counting I replaced. Technically, it's the third motor ever in this vehicle. The first one from Ford.
Right.
Second one from the junkyard. Third one now, new
This
one.
is your built one.
Yeah, this
Okay.
one is good to go.
What else have you done to it?
Down
different?
pipes. That helps a lot. I took all the cats out. I have no
Is that
cats.
just for quicker extraction of heat? Is that what you're-
Flow. Open up the exhaust flowing. Though let everything breathe. Fucking open it up. We're not in California. We don't have emissions here.
Thank God.
We don't got to deal with any of that shit.
Right.
So we don't have inspections, none of that. We can do whatever the hell we want to our cars. Down pipes is a big deal for these cars. Intercooler, obviously now. Fuel pumps. They make high pressure fuel pumps. Most cars, the issue is they don't have enough fuel. They can make more power, just not enough fuel. Good tune. Throttle body. There's an option for a throttle body that I sell.
Well, tell them about that, because this is something that you took and this is where the stuff you're doing just kind of amazes me, because you're just doing this on your own. You're literally testing this stuff and developing aftermarket versions of factory parts, and that's basically what you did. So you took the intake, right?
Throttle body.
Throttle body. I'm sorry, throttle body. Yeah. And what have you done to it different than stock? And
so the throttle body on these vehicles, especially on a higher horsepower car,
right.
On a stock vehicle, you're not going to really see much gain. You may see a little throttle response, a little miles per gallon, but realistically, it's not anything, right?
Right.
These cars, the turbos are adding a pound of drive pressure for every PSI of boost, for instance, which is more, slows your car down power wise. So what you do is, this opens up restriction. Your turbos won't have to see as much drive pressure for the same manifold boost. It's more efficient for the vehicle. The benefit is less pressure drop across the throttle at wide open throttle. So when you're at wide open throttle, this car is choking out because of the drive pressure going through it. So the thing is, you've got boost there you can't use. A lot of people doubt it because of the whole forced induction turbo.
It's like
thing.
a traffic jam of air.
You've got a traffic jam and you've got more power there you can't use.
Right.
You're kind of releasing to open up the gate. It's been proven, Matt Robinson threw it on the dyno. I've thrown it on the dyno. We've got data log files we've posted everywhere. That, at this car at wide open throttle, if you got this, throttle body, you can open up between, it depends. Every car is different, right?
Mm-hmm.
Your tuning adjustments, everything. But, 0.5 PSI to up to 2 PSI of boost, which is a big deal.
Doesn't sound like much, but when we're talking about a range of, 10 to 15, that 1 or 2% air is pretty big.
Yeah, it could be a big deal overall. I mean, you can compare, for instance, the manifold absolute pressure to your throttle. Here, I'll pull up exactly the specs on what you can do with it. What to view for you guys out there. If you guys out there read your own data logs, this would be a good thing for you guys to look at here. Let me pull it up here.
And this is all from you guys. What are these results from? Explain to them what they're.
What we're looking at is we're looking at a data log, which is a readout of what your car's ECU is reading, the computer system in your car, and we're comparing the differences in drop pressures, manifold pressure. I'll tell you exactly what we're going to be comparing here in things.
And where do you do this testing at locally? Is
All you really need to do is the laptop. All you need is a laptop because you need to read the car's computer. You can read a car's computer from anywhere.
Oh, you do the app and plug in and do it all on your own.
I drove my car down the road. That's how we did the testing. You drove the car down the road, plugged into the computer, and got a good idea of what we looked at the comparisons. Of what exactly was different, and a dyno too, right?
Right.
That's what you really want to look at to see the differences.
Explain the dyno real fast. What that is.
A dyno, they strap your car down. They put it in a gear of the best 1-to-1 ratio for gearing in a vehicle. And what they do at the same time is from a low RPM all the way up to full throttle at the top. Floor it, and what it does is it reads out what your horsepower and torque is at the tires. And there's different types of dynos, but it gives you an accurate idea of you can figure out what your power is to what it may be doing. You know what I mean? For other things like that, and at the end of the day, it gives you a real good idea of what you've added to power, and this helps you directly.
Gotcha.
Here, you watch, this is exactly for out there, those people that can read this. You want to compare your throttle inlet pressure actual and manifold absolute pressure. You'll see a difference between the two lines reading in KPA, which is actually your boost, and you'll see the difference between the two lines. You want those to be exactly the same line, which isn't possible with the stock throttle body. So realistically, you could get 10% more airflow out of a throttle body.
Right. And what physically is being done to the throttle body differently?
So there's multiple options on throttle bodies. So, you can take an OEM stock throttle body, and what we do is we'll port it out, meaning we'll take out material inside of it, opening up the flow restrictions. And in doing so too, we'll, hand blend it so you don't have any, restrictions. You got to work within specs of the stock butterfly, the centerpiece inside of there.
Right.
You can't,
can't take out so much material that there's a gap of air.
Yeah, there's a gap in there and your car just won't work. These cars are touchy. You'll throw check engine lights. It just won't work out. So in doing that on the front and the back side of it, you can open up a lot of air. There's also another option where we have an upgraded unit completely, meaning it's not a factory OEM throttle body. That's just larger. Everything's done already for you. It's a little more spendy, obviously, right? But it's an option as well too. So if you want, the maximize of everything it's mostly for the guys that have a lot of money in their cars, right? Which we consider full bolt-on or built motors. The people that have built motors, anyone that's 400 horsepower pluses, that's really going to want to see these, use these, right? It's kind of an expensive.
Just gives them something else to add.
Yeah,
to there before. When you're in the market before.
Unless you're maxing out your turbos and you're really pushing a lot of power, you're not going to see the biggest gains with this, right? You want to be making some power to make this worth the money.
Right. What else substantial have you done to yours that makes it faster than what it is?
Well,
and if I didn't ask, remind me again. I might have already asked, but
yeah,
where are we at on horsepower in yours right now?
So last dyno it was 469 to the wheel, 503 to the wheel torque.
Okay.
So
over 500 horsepower, over
at the
300,
crank.
and over 400 torque.
Yeah. So if you were going to factor that out to crank, which is what people advertise their vehicles at in dealerships, that's 625 to the crank for horsepower.
Good God.
I can give you an exact number. It's in the 600s, if not 700 for torque,
which is amazing for 4,000 pound.
My Lincoln is 5,000 without me.
Really?
Pounds. Yeah, I've got.
Why is yours?
I've got a fucking subwoofer in the back. Remember, I've got that full sound system in the back.
Right.
My door panels are thick as shit.
Okay.
And I've got big 20s on it with thicker tires, and I've got a trailer hitch too. I pull with mine, so Jesus. I got a trailer hitch that a couple 100 pounds in the back. And I got a shit ton of stuff in that car. That car is never, you know what I mean? It's heavier than the Taurus SHO.
No shit.
So I'm always at a disadvantage to start.
Holy cow.
Yeah, people don't remember that when they're comparing times and stuff too. It's another thing when people sit on Facebook and fucking compare quarter mile times and things like that. There's so many factors you don't know.
Yeah,
you can't.
The weight power to rate ratio that should be an obvious one.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing too. People, any uneducated person is gonna look online at what a car's power is and look at a different car and be like, this car's faster without knowing.
To help illustrate that, so what's a stock like my car's stock? What's the quarter mile time? It's 12 or 13?
13. So it's high 13, like 13.8. Is the quarter mile time. People have gotten down to 13.6 to 14. Realistically, it's around 14.
Around 14.
People have got these Tauruses, the SHOs, into 11.3 range at over 120 miles an hour.
Jeez. And quarter mile.
In the quarter mile, and it's not because of the lack of power is why those times are. That's not all that fast. Realistically, that's not a fast vehicle nowadays. Right. For what it is, though, the 4-door family car, it's pretty quick. It's faster than 99% of the cars on the road.
Exactly.
But In all honesty, the car has the capabilities to go faster. The issue is the drivetrain, transmission. That's our issues. It just won't hold up. These are all-wheel drive vehicles launching, drive shafts. It's the transmission. The torque converter is an issue, which I have an upgraded torque converter out there now, which is changing the game.
Okay, that's all good stuff to know. Anything else about your part development? Anything else you want to talk about? Anything else you want to point out before we get into the juicy fun stuff?
Yeah, I just I gotta push it and push it and push it, guys. You guys have now got these very expensive, not very expensive, but you've worked your ass off for these vehicles, and all it takes is a mistake of one person or someone trying to make their car faster to make their name look cool, to fuck up your investment. And at the end of the day, I've fucked up my investment multiple times, right? And I'm now sitting here trying to help you save yours, right? So realistically, do it right the once way. Do it right once.
Right.
And if you don't do it right once, here's a big issue. People, it's easy, $500 to tune it, right? Or a converter is a lot more money. The thing is, a lot of people would rather pick the power than the safety before adding the power. Do it the right way. Put the parts in first that are meant to support the power, then add the power. If you can't afford it to do it the right way, you shouldn't realistically be doing it.
Right, because it's going to cost you more in the long run.
Yeah, I mean, a transmission job's $5,000. You do a torque converter installed, it's $1,000 in labor. You're still under $5,000, and now your car, number one, it's going to be more efficient. Number two, it's going to handle the power better, and you're going to feel more comfortable driving it.
Okay.
So,
all right. Well, let's get into
the juice.
The street racing scene.
Here we go.
Worldwide. Now, you participate?
Yeah, I've participated. I've been pulled over. I've had my share of time in courtrooms.
Right.
So, yes, very much so.
Okay. So what's the scene like? We're here in Minnesota. What's the street racing scene here? What, if somebody was to walk into an event where they were racing,
yeah.
or I guess just tell me where are you guys racing at? How's it all going down? Are you guys racing for money?
It's low key. You're not gonna be able to walk in anywhere and ask people where the fuck we're gonna be.
Right.
No one's gonna tell you anything. Realistically, 99% of people don't run for money. We're just out. It's mostly a younger crowd, out for having fun. It's the weekend thing. It's the crowd that's not out doing the drugs. It's the crowd that's rather do these things. Kids like me that got hooked on cars.
Car nerds.
Right? Yeah. It's something to do. It's fun to watch. It's fun as hell to watch.
Right.
You know what I mean? You can't go wrong with it, right? The thing is, we're all over the place. We'll race anywhere. Realistically, anywhere anyone can access, right? We don't race, in unsafe places. There is, some people will make stupid choices, and I can't talk for everyone, right?
Right.
But I will not personally race my car on a road I don't feel safe on. But there is always risk involved. If you're gonna be a street racer, I'm not saying, I'm nothing special. My car's slow. There's way faster cars, people out that run for money. I'm out just having fun, right?
Right.
But if you're gonna come out, have the understanding that what you're doing is illegal technically by the law. It's illegal, and you need to be understanding of you may get a ticket, you may get arrested. Things do happen. I mean, and that's part of what you need to understand. There's a risk involved with everything, right? So that is that.
How many cars? You say your car's not fast, but
no,
to me it's super fast. To me.
Well, the thing is, there's always a car faster than you, right?
Right.
You got to remember that. And realistically, my car is fast for the category it's in.
What it is.
A big
four-door sedan.
Four-door sedan, super heavy.
Luxury sedan.
Yeah, luxury sedan, V6. It's not. You know what I mean? The thing is, there's Camaros and Mustangs, and you'll never be able to run with modified those, right?
Right.
Those cars are designed to do racing.
So what's the 5 fastest cars that you've taken down as far as
fastest cars? The thing is, it's not about fast; it's about if they can drive. When you're racing on the street, it's a whole different game. It's realistically, if you're on the street, you can put way too much power. A car that's 1,000 horsepower on the street, they're not going to get traction.
Right.
They'll spin, and the thing is, being all-wheel drive. I spin, but I won't spin like that, and I can move. And these roads aren't long enough for these cars that obviously, once they get traction, will drive right around me to catch up. So the thing is, all-wheel drive is a huge advantage on the street. That's why I love the street. And the thing is, Corvettes, Mustangs. I beat Mustang 5.0s, Corvettes. I have a video of me, dragging a Corvette on the track, which, is where they can hook.
Best case scenario for that car.
Yeah. A track is where the Corvettes and Mustangs want to be, where they can do a burnout, get them warm, have a lot of prep, nice straight line. Right. So the thing is, it's down to the driver. Realistically, this is, can you hit the gas quick once the light goes, or if you honk start, or however you do it. You know, whoever gets to jump first, or, you know, you have to reel them in. It's down to anyone. You never know. You can't ever tell if you're going to win a race or not. I mean, obviously, if you're a car that's way better than the other car, way faster, it's not, you know, you have understanding you're going to win, but, you know, you never know if your car is going to not work or something's going to happen, right? So it's all the thrill of it, realistically. I mean, I don't go out there thinking I'm going to win any money. I don't go out there thinking I'm anything special. I'm just another fucker bored.
Right.
So.
And everybody's out there. You don't know really. Do you guys determine, like, do they have to tell you what they got under the hood?
No, you don't got to. I mean, some people ask, right?
Right.
Or if they're surprised, right? I've been asked many times, what is under the hood of that, right? And it's a V6, and I'm not lying and saying so, right?
Right.
I may not add the fact that I have turbos or tell you that, but you're going to hear it, right? After I, you know, turn the car on, it's pretty noticeable.
Right.
But realistically, I mean, some people don't want to say anything about their car. Some people tell you every little thing as long as you'll listen, right?
Right.
And, you know, there's multiple crowds. There's the crowds that are, you know, out for fun, kids like me, or there's the crowds out there that are, you know, the older guys that have the real cars that, you know, they come, do a couple runs, and they put it away back in the garage, right?
Right.
So there's completely different levels of it, right? So.
Crazy. So where do you, like, a guy wants to race you, or a gal wants to race you, how do they just say, hey, I just want to run it?
Facebook, man. People just fucking will post anything on Facebook. You can, you know, shoot someone a message and say, I want to race you, right? It's easy as that. Or, you know, in the summer, we go out every weekend. Friday night, Saturday night, we meet up at a spot. You know, we use multiple ways to communicate. We'll meet up at a spot, and, you know, certain predetermined people will have an idea of where we're going to go in our heads, and you just got to follow the leader. If you're not following the leader, well, it sucks for you.
Right.
Yeah, you're not going to be ending up where we are.
Okay. So what about the bad side? You said you've been pulled over before.
Oh, yeah.
For speeding.
Yes.
What were you clocked at?
As funny as it is, I didn't actually do anything this time when I was pulled over. I was at a known location for street racing. When we pull in with a lot of vehicles. Right. There was already police there. We all funneled in and funneled out. I funneled out, and, you know, everyone was going one way. I was like, ooh, I can just hop out and go the other way. Hopped out, went the other way, and the cop pulled me.
Okay.
He wrote me a ticket for life endangerment, which is an automatic license lossage.
But you weren't speeding or anything.
Oh, I was doing nothing illegal. Automatic license lossage.
How did he even know?
He was pissed off. You know,
I guess.
Well, it's nothing to do with my car. It's just you've got hundreds of people in a suburban area, or an area that clearly about to do something illegal, and it's pissing them off, right? It was more of a statement.
Okay.
You know, it was like, get the fuck out of here statement. And, you know, I understand completely, right? He wrote me for life endangerment, street racing, reckless driving, running a stoplight, and speeding, all on one ticket, which is, you know, I was looking at, you know, losing my license for years upon years.
So obviously you got that thrown out, I guess, right?
Oh, yeah. I hired a lawyer. I did my research, got a lawyer. What you know, a lawyer can request for dash cam footage of the police's vehicle. I told my lawyer, dude, I did nothing. The video will prove it. You know, we pulled the footage from the cop car, and it shows me driving 35 fucking miles an hour within the line, stopping at the light, turning my turn signals on, and just, it looks like I'm going home.
Right.
And, you know, all you do in court is, you know, all he had to ask was, why does this not line up to your police report? Your police report shows this guy was doing 50 and a 30, you know, evading officers, you know, no turn signals, street racing, life endangerment. You know, none of that was happening. There was no other cars on the road in my direction. There was no other, you know what I mean? There's no pedestrians, you know. It's just factually, he was upset, and he, you know, tried to make a stand, right?
Right.
Make a point. And the thing is, and if I didn't hire a lawyer, I'd be stuck with all of it, right? But I was lucky enough that I had the money to hire a lawyer and prove my innocence. And, you know, that officer has now paid the price for what the judge let him know, you know, we understand you're upset, but you can't abuse your power the ways you did, you know. Street racing's not okay. They made that very clear to me.
Right.
And I'm still going to fucking send it. But he did what he wasn't supposed to do at the end of the day, and I got out of it. But a lot of people aren't as lucky, I'll tell you that.
Well, what about this? Your car is very distinctive. Not only do you have personalized plates, but
yeah,
you know, it's lots of pictures of it. A lot of people talk about your car.
Yeah, all over the internet.
It's within the car circles that we're in.
Yep.
It's popular and a known car. Are you stalked now by law enforcement? I mean, they've got to be hip to that, right? They've got to be going on these forums and stuff, and like, well, this is in my city, and I gotta.
Surprisingly, there'll always be a bigger fish than you. My car, you know, at the end of the day, I haven't changed anything exterior really. I have a license plate that says my name, which, you know, is probably not the most helpful thing, But I haven't, done anything. I haven't tinted the
Okay.
windows.
Can I say what you're?
Yeah, go ahead.
It's Nick.
It's Nick.
You need to get one now that says not Nick.
Yeah, not
So
Nick.
They don't know who you are.
I mean, I've got that on there. Number one, I couldn't think of anything.
Right.
Number two, I wanted to, when you beat someone, you want them to know who dragged your ass.
Right.
And
That's the thing they're going to see.
it's easy to find in a parking lot.
Right.
And, I was just, spree of the moment, think of something cool. It's time to renew tabs. I might as well get a new plate.
Right.
So that's what I came up with that. But
Still trying to come up with mine. I want something cool.
I got a lot of things we can think of.
Right. All the good show ones are taken. Though.
Oh, no.
You think so?
No. You can do a slow
Oh, there's not enough letters.
Slow boat. SLOBOAT.
How about show your tits? How about will that fit?
Show at AZZ show ass.
Show ass.
Or big ass.
Right.
Because it's got a big booty. These are thick. These cars are thick.
That's true. That's the backside is the most beautiful part.
Oh,
of
it's
cars.
the best part of them all.
It is. So tell me something negative about the street racing thing that you see. Because I literally, before you guys came over, I was talking with a buddy on Facebook, and he's in LA. He goes to work early in the morning.
Yep.
And he says it's horrible the amount of racing related accidents, crashes, and deaths out there. And that's why, and though I don't approve, I don't like that. They need my approval, but I don't. The law that they just passed in California against something about the exhaust, about customized exhaust.
Yeah, it has to be 100% factory.
It has to be 100% factory, and if you don't have that, they give you $1,000 ticket.
There's no getting out of it.
That you pay it, or you lose your car, or whatever.
Impound it or arrest you.
Right. So he's seen the negative, like literally people dying, and again, like you said, you try to do so responsibly, and I'm not gonna lie, I speed in certain controlled situations that I have. And know what's going on, but there are some people who don't give a fuck.
Oh yeah,
and that will race dangerously and has killed either themselves or other or people not even involved. So, what's the negative that you've seen, culture-wise and actual accidents and things like that?
I try to be as careful as possible. I avoid groups of people that I know are reckless, people that don't follow rules, simple rules of when there's two cars going, you don't have your car on, you're not in front of them. Obviously, you're behind it. Simple rules, right? I don't have time for people that want to, zigzag through traffic and stuff, racing to a spot, to meet to a
I've seen
spot.
some crazy videos of that. Just people like cars just whipping through huge rush hour traffic. 80, 90 miles an hour.
Or more.
It's crazy, terrifying.
There's a limit of, of what you'll accept yourself to be around. You got to remember who you're surrounding yourself with. If you're surrounding yourself with people that are, somewhat mature people that, can drive a vehicle properly when they want to, people that aren't clearly, some people will show up to these things, on drugs and shit too. It's a weekend, right? Some of these younger kids will show up drunk and stuff too. So you got to,
or the guy or the gal who has a car that they don't know what they're driving, or they don't know how to drive what they have. They just had the money to go buy a 6, 7, 8,000
Hellcat or something.
1,000 horsepower car.
Yeah.
They're like, oh yeah, it's going to do it by itself. No, it's
you've got to be aware of who you surrounded yourself with.
Yeah.
Sadly, I've seen a lot of things. I've seen motorcycle accidents, cars crash, things like that. It's not as common as you'd think. Realistically, last season, I would say maybe one crash total, and it wasn't even at a race spot. It was on the highway. I think a tire blew out or something, and someone else crashed.
Just mechanical failure.
Yeah, it wasn't racing involved. The only race, I haven't seen anything tragic with my own eyes, luckily, right? Obviously something one day will probably happen and I will see that event, right? But I personally haven't seen it. And the thing is, referring back to the California, your buddy out in California, you're 100% right. In California, you got to remember, geographically where we are. We're in Minnesota. It's cold here most of the year. You can't use your fun cars. We're not, it's a lot cheaper to live here. People aren't as wealthy. California, it's warmer year round. You can use these cars year round. The cost of living's higher, so you obviously have more money. And those cars are a lot more common and attainable there. We don't even have a Lamborghini dealership in Minnesota. In California, I can't count how many they have.
Right.
So there's a lot more of the cars out there in one area, way more populated areas than we are here, that are, younger people, celebrities that don't know how to drive these cars, that, probably couldn't change their oil, that are driving the cars that you're talking about, Hellcats, 700 horsepower cars, or, the fast Mustangs or whatever it is out there. And these people, are trying to make statements. That's what it is, right? They're trying to make a name for themselves or show off. Right. And it's a lot more common out there in California to be going through the hills and doing that. I don't doubt it at all. There's tons of accidents that happen, right? And I mean, they probably got 95% more sports cars there than we do here. I mean, obviously you have more of them in one place, more accidents are going to happen.
Right.
So, I mean, yeah, it's a shitty accident when things happen, and it's, awful for everyone, and we all feel it, right?
Is there like to do it all legally? I mean, where do people go here? I know there's some straight tracks and things like that. Is there plenty of options available for that?
There isn't. Sadly, it's now there is more things getting available. What there is there's drag strips. There's not many here in the state. There's Brainerd and a couple other things, right? But realistically, it's a long drive for a lot of people to go to a track, and it costs money. A lot of people that do this don't have a lot of money.
Right.
But
I think that then again, it's saying what to do with other people's money, but. With the car technology where it's going, because it's just a horsepower war right now.
Yeah.
And that's not just cars like yours and I's that we buy specifically because of their performance, but a standard car is 250 horsepower sometimes.
Yeah.
It's not
minivans like with 300.
Yeah, there's crazy amount of performance out there. I wish they would do something like they do like with public skate parks,
Yeah.
Like here's a public racetrack that you can do your car whatever. You got to sign this piece of paper that if you kill yourself, it's on you. But at least making it where people can, number one, enjoy their cars to, and really push the limits of them, but safe and away from everybody. I would love to have a loop track and a straight track that I could just go to and maybe pay a $10 fee per run or something like that. And
that's popping up.
Right.
There's options now here. There's a dirt track in Minnesota that people can go to themselves and sign your car up, and you can, race other people around the track. That's an option. But that's Elko Speedway.
Okay.
There's now options. Tracks are doing this now because, a track, they prep the surface with machines and chemicals and get grip. We'd like to race on the street because you don't have that. A lot of tracks now will scrape that off and have, no prep events, meaning it's more of a simulated road type of road, but on the safe track environment with, the medical teams on staff, lighted properly.
And you got to pay.
You got to pay to get in still. But I mean, BIR, for instance, I'm going to plug BIR, Brainerd International Raceway, for a second here. Wednesday night drags, they open it up in the summer where anyone can show up with their car.
Any kind of car?
Any kind of car, realistically, if you have a helmet, pretty much. If you're, a certain speed, you need a helmet.
Okay.
And you sign a waiver. It's, I think, like $25. You can run your car all you want, as many times that night.
Oh, as many as you want for $25? Okay.
$25. That's the thing. It's super cheap. You've got all the safety there. But, it's a 2-hour drive from where we're located.
Yeah.
So, realistically, many people have tried to put tracks in the cities. Sound ordinances and things like that are the issue. But, when tracks are doing these no prep events now, or cities now are even doing it on their own public road. They'll block a road off and bring their medical team and police there, and they'll have an event where, people you can pay to buy in or do it, but they'll use an actual fucking road, like a road in their city. They'll do it and let you race on it. And, the thing is, by doing so, they're, I guess kind of breaking down the barrier of acceptance into it of, we want to race, but we want to race on a road that's not prepped. Right. So it is now becoming more common and more doable. And, in Wisconsin, there's a lot of no prep events. And, a lot of us will go over there for that.
Okay. What else was I going to ask? I don't know. Is there anything else about the car culture that you think that's people need to be aware of or interesting? Or maybe to get people to side with you about what you guys are doing, about the fun of it?
At the end of the day, we don't want anyone to get hurt. People, we're aware of the risks involved, and we're not smart, by risking our lives or other people's lives. But people don't realize how quick these events happen. We're not driving 100 miles an hour for 30 minutes. We go 0 to 60, in 5 seconds, and that's done.
Right.
It's a 5-second event. It's not hours of racing. It's not anything like that. It's not, some of these things they show online aren't accurate of what they are. Some places are worse than others, right? But in all seriousness, it's 5 seconds of going straight and you're about done. And you have headlights and there's lights. You can do it during the day if you really wanted.
Here's a question: How realistic are the TV shows, like the
Street Outlaws?
Street Outlaws, yeah.
That's
when I'm
not
at the gym,
realistic.
it's always on TV for some reason.
It's not realistic. It was realistic back in the day, but
that's all staged shit.
Yeah,
right?
That's a staged road. Medical staff on team. The road is now so prepped up from them using it over, and now it's like a track. It's literally like a track. And
it always goes to commercial right when somebody rolls their car too.
Oh yeah, and you know,
oh, Big Chief, he rolled his car.
Or
now we're advertising Tide or something.
They got the fucking lights, you know, every 15 feet you could see the lights, you know, the dome lights they got to light the road, you know,
right.
That's not how it is. That's not realistic. We don't have camera crews. We have our Snapchat.
Right. So that's why I think it's, people see that and they're like, oh, well, I'm just going to do it exactly the way they do it on TV. And
we'd love to. We'd love to. You know, if cities would work with us and give opportunities like that, we'd be all over it.
Right. That would be, because there's plenty of roads out there.
Plenty of roads, and realistically, it's not that hard to scrape a little rubber off the road. You know, we have community service crews out there for people that have made mistakes and things.
I'd bet even the car people would.
I'm pretty sure
volunteer to do it. If
I'm pretty sure we'd all
volunteer
volunteer together to rip it off. And the thing is, you know, we all have jobs. I'm pretty sure someone here works for, you know, a road company or an asphalt company or something that has the ability to do this properly and really cheap and fast.
Or I'm sure there's a road company out there that would want sponsorship, you know, right?
Yeah.
To be able to sponsor events and things like that.
Yeah, you know, even if their name's on a fucking cup.
Right. Interesting.
So
anything else car culture wise or anything else?
You know, it's you know, it's pretty accepting. We you know, you don't need to have a fast car. You know, for instance, right, when I started with a junker, you know, you find people with similar cars. That's what it is. If you have the same type of car, that's where you kind of fall in with those people.
Right.
And you know, there's always gonna be people that hate on you. I'm a very hated person. You know, a lot of people hate me, hate my car.
Well, that's a funny part of the culture too, and it kind of gets back to like with the tuning wars, is even just subgroups of cars like all-wheel drive, like what's that? All-wheel drive army.
Yeah, all-wheel drive army.
There's all these different cars. There's like the Subarus,
versus the
cars
Evos.
Like ours. Yeah, and they're all competing about, well, my all-wheel drive car is better than your, and just the emotional anger and vile that gets thrown back and forth over cars that are on paper basically pretty much the same, give or take a little bit here and there.
Yeah, I mean, being a person, let's say if you were going to enter the car world, right? You know, come into the understanding that people will help you, and there's always going to be people that say shit about you, that don't like your car, and, you know, you can't really let it affect you. I mean, at the end of the day, people that won't even know you or meet you will talk and run their mouth all day, and, you know, they haven't met you. I mean, I have thousands of people that have talked shit about me that, you know, haven't met me, right? Or, you know, have twisted words or read things or, you know, understood them the way they've seen them online, and, you know, maybe that's not how it was, right? So at the end of the day, you know, if you have to understand that you're not going to sit and make a million friends, but you can make a lot of friends. I've made a lot of friends doing so, and, you know, I've made my own car club, and, you know, just because, you know, we're accepting of anyone in that group. So
you want to promote that?
Yeah, MN Street Scene. If you look it up on Facebook, everyone's allowed in there. We don't have, you know, any posts, you know, picking on anyone or anything like that, you know, within common, you know, limitations, right? When there's nothing wild going on.
Slow electric cars, can they be in your car?
Oh yeah, you can come in. Anyone with any car can come in. You know, you don't even need to own a car. If you have a passion for cars, you like cars, or you know, think they're cool, feel free to join. And, you know, people share posts about, you know, videos of cars online and exhaust sounds and things like that. You know, anyone's welcome. That's the thing. You know, we've set up our page to where we have multiple people that will go through, and your post has to be approved before you're even posted. So if you're going to post something negative, or, you know,
and cut it off at the head,
it gets cut off before the public sees it.
Gotcha.
So it's really cool. It lets you be yourself.
Last question here. What's the fastest you've ever driven, in what car, specs and all that?
The car I've personally driven?
Yeah. I was going to think it was the car you got now.
No. It's probably or something? It's probably a Cobra Mustang. My Cobra Mustang I had a Cobra Mustang manual before this.
What year?
97. It was a 1 of 27 color Pacific green with the cloth interior. So not
was that the Terminator
leather.
Year?
No, it was right before. It was the generation before.
Okay.
It was the first few years of the dual overhead cam 4.6.
Okay.
Pretty much Crown Vic motors.
What were your specs on that as far as
it was a pretty stock vehicle, just bolt-ons and stuff like that. It was, you know, 300 wheel horsepower. It was nothing factory, or, you know, nothing fast, but it was a very light car, manual, and it was geared for high speeds, right? Big V8, so top end, and, you know, I got it up, you know, it was tuned, and, you know, headers and all that, and you know, I've got it north of 160, no problem. You know, you know, 170, 175 probably. You know. And, you know, in all honesty, I blew the bell housing of my transmission in my Cobra Mustang at 165 miles an hour racing someone.
What failed?
The whole bell housing, it cracked. Like, just pressure, temperature. It was probably hot temperature, you know, shifting, without putting the clutch all the way in, power shifting. I was going 160 racing a little BMW. We were all the way out in the middle of nowhere, Wisconsin, and I blew it up. And I had to be towed all the way home. And, the thing is, there was 12 racers pulled over on the side of the highway. Cop comes, tells the rest of them, get out of here. And, no one got a ticket, nothing like that.
Nice.
And very expensive. And this was days before I was going to sell that car anyways, I planned on. So I had to buy a brand new transmission for this vehicle and then sell it. So realistically, I've rode in cars that are 200-mile-an-hour cars as a passenger.
Really?
I have videos of it.
What of those
CTSVs.
Okay.
A lot of CTSVs, supercharged CTSVs with a lot of, modifications. They can make some serious power. Volkswagen Golf R, sadly, out of all cars, Volkswagen Golf will do 170 miles an hour modified.
Jesus.
And, a lot of cars out there will make some power. And I mean, I've rode in my neighbor owns a Lamborghini.
Nice.
So, I've rode in all the fast cars and stuff. My car is nothing like those, right? Never will be. It's just not designed to be. But, I'm not so much of a top end speed guy. I like eighth mile or short track being all wheel drive. My car is not a top end car. I can't do highway roll racing really much. My car is not designed for that. It's designed from a stop. Okay. So I'm not much of a, and there's a lot more risk involved at those speeds. And it's for a quick second and you're done. And I'm perfectly fine staying under 100 miles an hour.
Right. Gotcha. I lied. One more question. What's your dream car right now? Like, if you get any car manufactured right now, what do you got?
New or old? Or a car like I'm going to build, or a car I'm going to daily? That's a good.
Give me both then.
Okay. Like a car I want to build into a race car.
Right.
1972, 1974 Toyota Corolla.
Okay.
Coupe.
Okay. I'll do you my dream build is a basically it's a 93, 94 Mercury Marauder.
Yeah. Oh,
but swapped with a 6-speed transmission and a Coyote 5.0 liter.
Throw a Coyote in it.
I want that so bad. I just love those
the
cars.
The sound of the Coyote. There's nothing else like it.
And a Marauder is just classic.
The Marauders, their values of them is insane. They're still holding values.
Kind of, but I see a lot of them fairly cheap,
Hop up to the new generation,
car, there's only 11,000 made altogether.
It wasn't worth much to start, but the new generation, the 2000 generation of the Marauder though is worth some money.
What was the 2000 generation?
They looked exactly like the Crown Vics. They look like your car outside.
Right.
They look exactly like yours.
They made a Marauder though.
They made a Marauder. Google it.
I wasn't familiar with that.
Google it. They made a Marauder. Google 2003 Marauder.
Okay.
No,
that's what I'm thinking of.
Oh yeah.
Oh, it was 2000. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. What did I say year date?
Like 80s or something.
Oh no. Yeah, no. I meant the 2000. It was only the 2 year they made it. Right?
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. I'm sorry.
Yeah, the Marauders that look just like your car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what my car is supposed to be, a poor man's Marauder.
Yeah.
Make it look like Marauders.
But no, the value of them is, if you get good ones, 10 grand plus.
Right.
All day long. And the car is same car is only worth 1,000 or 2,000, not being a Marauder.
Right.
So
the only difference is just
a few small little things, and
mostly trim.
Yeah, mostly trim and a few exhaust pipes and different size things, right?
Yeah.
I would build mine with my Toyota. I'd put a big either a 2J in it, or any engine. There's a lot of people have made them. They're super light little cars, and you can make them super fast. But what would you do for your daily?
Oh, my daily?
Yeah, there you go.
There's so many good cars. I really like, and I don't know if it's even going to happen or not, but they started talking about the Mustang was going to come out with a four-door Mustang.
You saw the same thing posted in the groups probably that we saw, the same article.
So I don't know if that's real or not, but I love the idea.
Australia already has one of those out there, Ford made.
What's it called? Not the Falcon.
It's something like, I think it's a Falcon, Fairline something.
I forget what it is, but
it starts with an F.
But it's essentially what that is, right?
Yeah, it's a four-door Mustang. It's essentially an Audi A7.
Okay.
It's the it's the hatchback, long hatchback, like the Porsche Panorama or whatever the hell you say it.
Right.
It's essentially the competition of that long stretched out hatchback with a bunch of power.
Okay. So if they make that, then I'll definitely go that. But I also, what's the other the Cadillac's it's the V6 or not, or it's a V8.
Turbo.
It's a V8 twin turbo.
Yeah, the CTSV.
The CT6.
The CT6.
It's the one that just came out this year.
Yeah.
And it's a twin turbo, something 500 plus horsepower stock.
Yeah.
Out the door. That thing's pretty dope too.
No, I mean, realistically, if I were to get a daily, obviously I don't have enough money for it, right? But if someone were to buy it for me or something.
So saying that Cadillac, I think is going to be like 120 grand.
Pass. Like I'm good.
Like 5 years from now.
Well, sadly, I could have probably, bought one of those if I didn't.
With everything.
The Lincoln, yeah. Realistically, an Audi RS3.
Okay.
The little Audi RS3, I raced one today, and I got my doors blown the fuck off.
Really?
Oh, she pushed my shit in.
So was it stock then or no?
Stock. They're quick cars. I don't know what they run stock exactly. But tuned with like modifications, they can run 9s, which
Jesus.
to compare to our cars, which are 11s, that's a lot faster.
Yeah. They're already getting out of the car and wiping it down by the time you cross the finish line.
Yeah, and we're blowing up, over the finish line while they're not.
Right. Holy shit.
So that's what I would get. So you let me know when to come over, and we'll go buy those cars when you.
Yeah. We'll see how well my CD sells. Cool, man. Well, thank you for coming in.
I appreciate
telling
it.
all this stuff and educating everybody about. I don't know if this episode's going to be for everybody, but if you're a car person, it's definitely a cool episode to at least learn about the specifics of the EcoBoost engine and the cars and the things and the capabilities and the stuff that you're doing. So. You're the person to turn to, right? Anybody can come to you with questions?
Yeah, anyone out there, you don't need to have an EcoBoost vehicle. Any type of car, I may not know the most about that car. I know a few things, right? I'm happy to help anyone. If you have an EcoBoost vehicle, I can help with that. And I just want your car to be safe at the end of the day, and I just want you to have fun. So
cool. Let's go drop a 5-liter in my Crown Vic now.
All right, let's go do it.
Let's go. And there we go. Another episode completed. Second episode within a week. First time I've done that in forever. You're welcome, world, or whoever's listening to this. I really hope you enjoyed that episode as much as I enjoyed recording it and speaking with Nick about cars. I mean, yeah, this is going to be, like I said, maybe it was just a niche episode. Maybe the only people who listened all the way through were just 4 or 5 car dudes or gals, whatever. There's car gals in the world too. Sorry. Trying to be more progressive. Yeah, so I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you got something out of it. I hope you, again, enjoyed it as much as I did. So yeah, but if you didn't, guess what? I've got another episode in the works already. I don't know what it's going to be yet, but I've already got one in the works. Whatever. Guys, thank you. Thank you so much for all the continued and growing support that I'm getting on this podcast. It's amazing to look at the numbers and see them growing at the rate that they are. And of course, I couldn't do that by myself because I can't listen to it by myself. Duh. Whatever. One more time, thank you to our sponsor, simplewebsite.us. Simplewebsite.us. Simplewebsite.us, the place you need to go if you need some help building a Squarespace website. Go to simplewebsite.us. Boom. There you go. All right, guys. Go out into the world, do something positive. Just make this to the day that you listen to this, make this your random high five day, right? You just go and every time you meet somebody, you put a smile on your face and say, high five, buddy, or high five, lady. And I guarantee you, unless they're just total complete assholes, they're going to appreciate that. They're going to return that high five, and they're just going to leave it just a small fraction amount of positive energy that they didn't have before. That's what high fives do. Smiles and high fives they're amazing. So go out and just give some high fives to random people. Unless that person doesn't have like hands or arms or something, because then that's a little bit insulting for you to go, high five, buddy, and then they don't have any arms. Whatever. Give them like a high foot or something. Whatever. All right, guys, make sure to spade and neuter your pets and children. Keep seeking the truth, and I will definitely talk to you in the next episode right here on Filter Free America. Bye-bye.